Welcome to Faith Speaks here on Catholic Radio 102.7 FM and then also around town, and we're happy to have my guest today, and I have known this young man since he was an early teenager, I guess. And that's
Yeah.
right, yeah. And he is Peter Chamberland Jr.
Yes, sir.
I hate to say Junior. But anyway, I figured you were a junior. But anyway, and his dad, of course, is minister for the Granite State Baptist Church on Route 106. And, you know, that it's amazing, that place, because it was just an old warehouse.
Yes.
Didn't they fix snowmobiles? Not snowmobiles,
Yes, it was a
golf
golf cart
carts or
repair
something,
shop.
yeah. And Jimmy Walker owned it. And look at it now. It's a beautiful, he's got a beautiful church he's built there. You would never know it was a whatever. But he's done very well down there.
Oh yeah, God's been good to us. God's
Yeah.
been good.
Yeah, well, it's good. Well, that's the main thing. I mean, and you have turned out very well. Of course, I'm sure Daddy would say, you know, but that's good though.
Yeah.
And now you're in college at, you said Vision
Yes, sir. Vision Baptist College.
in New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
Has
Yes,
that, what part of Jersey? Near New York City, or
No,
is that
no,
down
it's
toward the other end?
It's actually right down about 15 miles out of Philadelphia.
Oh,
And so I used to work in Philadelphia and just
Oh, you
go
did.
back and forth.
you did.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it wasn't for Penn State, then I guess
Oh,
I'm all
no.
set.
No, unfortunately, they had me in the 76ers arena. And so
Oh.
they gave me a hard time for wearing my Celtics hat.
Hey, it's no problem. I go to UNH hockey games when Michigan comes in. I have my Michigan
Oh, yeah.
hockey jersey on, and my wife got mad. She says, "How can you, as a state legislator, go to a game like that?" There you go. Okay, thank you. And I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I root for the Wolverines. That's who I am. I'm a diehard Wolverine. I go to a football game every year. In fact, in 2 weeks, I'll be out to Ann Arbor for my annual game." And but no, and then when I heard you had graduated from high school. No, which high school? Which year were you?
I was homeschooled.
You were homeschooled.
Yes, sir.
Did you feel that you missed anything by not being in school?
Oh, no, not at all.
See, I
not at
can't understand how they do that. I mean, who gives the test? Is it your mother or father?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We actually, the way we did our homeschooling is my mother would administrate the tests, but all types of scoring records, everything like that was done under an umbrella school.
Mm.
So we were actually registered under Home Life Academy down in Tennessee.
Oh, wow. Huh. I wasn't sure if you went to Trinity Baptist or Capitals. Well, it used to be Capital Concord Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But those two schools seem to be holding their own, although Trinity, I thought, was having some problems. But well, that's good, though. I mean, you become a very fine young man, I can tell.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
But you better not stray from either side of that line,
no.
boy, I'll tell you. Or Dad will be on your case. So you're hoping to, now you said you're in college, you got 2 more years.
Yes, sir.
Now are you don't have to call me sir. Now you make me old.
Sorry.
I know you've been taught right though. It's very polite and it's very nice. But it's just like I said, I had a nickname for him. I won't embarrass him on TV. But he's always got that great smile and attitude, and I just love seeing him on there. But anyhow, you are now. Are you doing missionary work now as if you're in the college or no?
Well, while I'm in the college, I work on a bus route, and so I'm out every Saturday, all throughout the week, just going out knocking doors, seeing if kids want to come to church.
Oh.
And then, actually, this summer has been the first summer I've been able to intern at our church.
Oh, really?
So I've been working full time at our church, just being around basic duties at a church. So it's been an awesome summer.
So down at college, you go on a bus to different houses or
Yes, sir.
complexes and asking.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had much luck or no?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Yes, sir. The church that I'm at, it's the Solid Rock Baptist Church.
Yeah.
We usually bus in. I believe there's 10 different routes.
Wow.
And each one goes to a different section of Jersey. And just going out and picking up kids. I know when I left college, my bus was picking up roughly 25 kids, and so I'm bringing them back. We had buses who were running mid-70s, bringing kids back.
Interesting.
So
Wow.
it was an awesome time.
I've never heard that. I mean, when you say you go knocking on doors, that makes me think of, there's a couple other faiths that do that, but some people get really irritated too. But,
I understand.
Yeah.
I can understand that too, because when we go outdoor knocking, even here in Concord, you can see many other people going out and doing the same thing.
yeah.
So you see it a lot nowadays. People are putting a lot of no solicitation on their doors, no campaigning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the big one, the
Yeah.
campaign thing. That people get really sick of
Mhm.
that. And I mean, if you look at politics today, look how much they've started.
Mhm.
It's not even until next February is our primary, and already they've started way back last November.
Yeah, politics is a crazy thing.
Oh, it is,
They go
believe
crazy.
me. Yeah, believe me, it is. But, so, tell me in a day, what subjects are you taking in college to
Well,
prepare for this?
this past year I took 3 different Bible classes. I took like the life of David, and so studying the life of David, and then we also took and went through the book of Galatians and the book of Romans. And then as well as just taking core classes such as communications, as far as for how you speak, how you're portraying yourself, and then as well as I know coming up this year I should start taking homiletics, which homiletics is just a fancy word for the art of preaching. And so just stuff like that, studying the Bible, studying how to become a preacher, everything like that.
Of course, you weren't even born back when this was on TV. Your father would have been probably my age, or maybe younger. But when Oral Roberts was on Sunday afternoons, oh man, hell, he's up there and he'd be up there, and he would put his hand on somebody's head and heal them, and we all had to figure it was staged, but a lot of us, but how do you know? I mean, he was looking for money, because for his big hospital out there in Oklahoma, I think it was. And someone said that closed, I guess.
Well, he probably healed everyone.
Yeah, he healed everyone. Because he's long gone now. But yeah, that was a Sunday afternoon thing. He'd be on TV for an hour. I can remember him putting his hand on it, heal. Oh boy, okay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because some people won't go to the door, or if they do, you almost have to be careful when you go into somebody's house.
It's true. It's true.
Especially the neighborhood.
Most of the time when we're going out, we honestly won't go into someone's house unless they invite us in, and we're never door knocking by ourselves.
No.
And so it's always 2 people.
Yeah, that's good.
So you always want to protect that boundary as well for both sides. You don't want to make the people behind the door feel uncomfortable either.
Do you feel that when you go knocking that they might come to the door and say, "Oh, well, we just had 2 young men here," which they're talking about probably the Mormon elders out there? Do you feel like you're walking the same circles they are, or no?
Usually, yes. And so, honestly, with us, the Mormons know who we are. We have a couple young men in our church actually have sat down for repeated weeks with a couple Mormon missionaries, just comparing our faiths.
Yes, I heard that.
It's one of those things that you can't pick and choose because one person's going one place that we're not going to go there. People are people. So.
Yeah, and of course, then you got the Jehovah's Witnesses who go house to house. And I don't know about the Seventh-day Advents.
I don't know about that.
I don't either. I know they're almost like them, but they, sometimes people just, it used to be like salesmen coming to the door.
Yeah.
You can just, all these scams on the telephone. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, every day.
Surveys or scams, and it's like you gotta be careful. You just don't. It's not like it was years and years ago when you basically knew a neighborhood, the people you could really trust. Now you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And you want to be careful. You want to protect yourself and your partner with you. But so now you'll do that for you do that for all 4 years of college, or no?
Yes, sir. They'll usually put you on a bus route down there,
Yeah.
and then I believe sometimes I've seen it in some cases where if a bus route is losing some of the college students because they're graduating, they'll sometimes transfer in other college students and have them work on a different bus route and everything.
Now, has your dad had you do a sermon yet in church?
Yes, sir.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How'd that go?
Honestly, really well. God was good. And so it's been one of those things. I was called to preach back at the age of 10 in 2010. And
Really?
Yes, sir.
So what did you talk about?
I dealt with Nehemiah, dealing with the aspect of when Nehemiah went back to rebuild the wall, he had to talk to the king first. So he had to get a few things situated with the king so that the king would allow him to go.
That must have been Old Testament.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was one I didn't care for. I love the New Testament, but the old one I never could understand it because I used to go to First Baptist as a kid. We went to Sunday school there. And I never could understand the Old Testament.
Okay.
The New Testament was easy. We could really relate to that.
Yeah.
For me, I loved Matthew and Luke. Because myself, everybody knows this is the Advent season for me is my favorite. The Christmas story.
Yeah.
I love that.
Always.
In fact, I had made one of my funeral plans the other day, finalized them with Waters, and I have that all down, what I want for the readings, the gospel, and the gospel is the Christmas story, and how leading up to that. But that's me. I love Christmas, and
yeah.
But I mean, Lent I have a hard time with. I just don't. I don't know this idea of Jesus being hung on the cross and stuff, and it's a very sad time. But in Pentecost, I mean, that's just basically that there. I mean, him going up to heaven along with Mary, I guess, eventually. But do you get people who will ask you, how do you know there's a heaven?
Yes.
Well, yes, how do you know?
How do I know? Well, the Bible clearly states that. That's one of those things that we can deal with the fact of that when Jesus did die on the cross, and everybody celebrates the Lent and the sorrow in it, but as a Christian, I celebrate the resurrection more than I celebrate the death, because the resurrection gives me that hope of knowing that God finalized his gift for me, that I can know for sure that I'm going to heaven with him. And just eternal life with God.
But that's been my biggest thing is that hopefully there is such a place, because when you lose a family member, especially or a good friend, you assume that they're going to heaven, but it's not a case of where you'll get a phone call saying I'm up here, beautiful place, can't wait till you get here, or get a postcard in the mail saying, I'm here in heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, so you have to go on your belief or your faith, and boy,
it's true.
I have to admit, sometimes my belief or my faith is very weak, because I just either had a rough time with something or something happened, and it just makes me wonder, why is God putting me through this?
I understand. I was just talking to someone earlier, end of last week, just dealing with the fact that the Bible actually states over in 1 John, the New Testament, back towards the end of it, in chapter 5 down, I think it's verse 13, it says, "These things have I written unto you that believe on the name of the Son of God, that ye may know that ye have eternal life." And so that's one thing I love about the Bible, is the fact that it will look at us and it will say, hey, you don't have to guess on it. You can know it. And so it's something that you and I mean, we know that this is the American flag.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. And so honestly, I love that about the Bible, is the fact that it can tell us that stuff and we can know it.
But there's so many versions.
There are.
I was funny. I was thinking of that today with you, because I was going to bring in, I have one in the car that I got from First Baptist, I guess. And it's a white cover, but it has, I think, most of the New Testament. I don't know, it must have the old one in it too. But then you have the King James Version, what the difference is for that. Then the Latter-day Saints have their version of the Bible with another chapter on beyond the New Testament. They have a third testament or something.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, I mean, which one do you believe? Which one do you read? I mean, which is the one that really is the true Bible? I mean, I've always thought that I'd like to go, if I traveled across the ocean, I mean, I would like to go to Bethlehem. Jerusalem, I don't know if I really want to go there or not, because there's so much trouble there between the Palestinians and the Israelis, but I'd love to go to Bethlehem, just to see where it started.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know there's no places the manger there, but still, there must be some markings. Oh, well, they have the Church of the Nativity that you can go into, and supposedly that's the place where he was born, that spot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's down whatever, but it's the Church of the Nativity, and it's supposedly built over the spot where he was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I'd like to go see that some, but I'll never get there. But
I understand that's one of those things that I look at, because one of the things my school offers for seniors is if they've been able to save up enough money, the school actually sponsors a trip over to the Holy Lands.
Really? Yeah.
And so that's something that I'm working towards right now. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Because they've done it for the president of the college has taken at least 4 trips over to the Holy Lands, and just I'm excited about getting over there. I understand seeing the birthplace of Jesus.
Yes.
I'm excited about seeing the empty tomb, because for me,
that's in Jerusalem.
It is.
Yeah.
And so for me, seeing the empty tomb is knowing there is no end.
So that's the Church, the Holy Sepulchre, they call it. I can't remember how they pronounce that word, but
I'm not sure.
that's built over the tomb, supposedly.
I'm not sure. I know that there is an actual where historians and whatnot say that it's the tomb where they buried Jesus.
That's the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, I think they call it. I can't pronounce that last word. It's S-E something.
Gotcha.
That supposedly is where he was buried.
Okay.
So, and of course you got the Wailing Wall, they call it, the Western Wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's a place to go to the Mount of Olives.
Yeah.
You know, things like that, but there's just so much unrest there.
There is.
And, I just am scared for anybody that goes over there, because you don't know, actually it's anywhere to travel these days. You got so many, I hate to say nuts, but you've got so many undesirables there, so it's like, you know, you got to be careful. And I hope you are, because usually your tour guides are very good about not going into places like that. But
oh yeah,
but no, I think is your favorite the Old Testament or the New Testament?
I love the New Testament because it tells us where we are, but there's so much in the Old Testament, because when you start reading the Bible, and I know for a young guy like me, reading the wars in the Old Testament, and how things are done in the Old Testament, and seeing how God delivered like the nation of Israel through many battles, honestly, the Old Testament comes alive as well as the New Testament, but the New Testament is more of us now.
Well, that's how I think I look at it, because it's more of a, I won't say current event, but more easier to understand.
I gotcha.
You know, we used to have to learn the, not the chapters in the New Testament, we used to have to learn them.
The books?
Yeah, the books.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a song that went with it.
Yeah, I know the song too.
Yeah, we used to sing it in First Baptist when I was in the younger group. Yeah, and but the Old Testament, I couldn't. Some of those words I couldn't figure. Genesis is easy, but after you get into some of those other ones,
I know there's this one. There's a king in the book of Nehemiah. That my buddy, he gives me a hard time every single time I read the verse. Yeah. Because you look at the name and it's like Artaxerxes, but it's pronounced like Artaxerxes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you read it and every single time I'd pronounce it, it'd be wrong.
Yeah.
And he'd always correct me after I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And so I think I finally got it, like I just said it right. And so I'm thankful that my friend took the time to be able to tell me that.
And also, was it Melchizedek or something like
Melchizedek.
that?
Yes.
Yeah. That's another one. I think, okay, yeah, well, it sounds good.
Oh yeah, there's
Don't
a
ask
lot
me to
of
spell
names.
it.
Exactly.
But, you know, but it is. It's interesting, and you wonder how did they decipher this stuff? I mean, how
I
did
don't
they
know.
write the Bible? Because there had to be it was all in what, Hebrew or Latin or something else.
Hebrew and Greek and
yeah, oh,
Aramaic.
yes. Yeah, I don't know how they had to spend hours and hours trying to decipher all this stuff, you know?
Yeah, and honestly, it must have been God
Yeah, well, it had to
giving
be
them
somebody.
the understanding.
Because, I mean, it was to do that.
Yeah.
And, of course, in the Catholic Church, of course, they were doing everything in Latin. And in school, we used to have Latin offered in the high school. I never took it. I never got to understand it. I thought Latin meant Latin America. Well, how did I know? I don't know. You know.
I understand. I know some colleges even offer a Greek class, and
Yeah.
just dealing with Greek.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not taking Greek at my college, but
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that study Greek.
Well, Greek will tell you that they were the first over there
Yeah.
in the Holy Land, not the Christians or whatever. They were the first.
Mm-hmm.
And because I used to talk with Father Dmitri, who was the Greek Orthodox there in Concord. He was on the show a few times back. Now he's in Boston, and he told me that the Greeks feel that, and sometimes you'll hear it, that the Greeks were the first group over there. But I would never know that. But no, I get a kick out of Latin because I just don't understand it.
Yeah, neither do I.
I just thought it was Latin America. But you know, it's interesting. You know, I love to read history, and that's how I look at the religion. I love to study it and read it and try to figure it out, because there's a lot of mysteries to that.
There is.
You know, Mary, and then they'll say Mary, the mother of Jesus, and then there's another Mary. You know, Jesus has several brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, what was his family? You know, I mean, and Joseph, you never hear what happened to him. It's like he just disappeared. So, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Where'd he go? Did he die? Or, I mean, you don't know anything about what happened to him.
I'm assuming he did die.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming too.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been out to lunch with you lately.
Exactly. He hasn't called me yet, so.
But I mean, you never hear. It's all been Mary when she dies or goes up to heaven. What happened to Joseph? You know, I mean.
I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting to wonder, where'd he go? You know, I mean, but then, like I said, you hear Jesus and his brother James and all this stuff. He'll say, he'll tell them to watch out for their mother. Mm-hmm. So obviously he must have had siblings, but.
Yeah, I know they had a few half brothers.
Yeah.
And so, because obviously, Jesus' virgin birth, his father was God.
Yeah.
And so, dealing with Joseph, I think, honestly, I don't know where he would have gone either. Because
I know, because it just nothing. He just drops from the face of the earth. I mean, in the story of Jesus, he goes from being the baby to this, and it's like the three wise men. Mm-hmm. It's all been pushed together at Christmas, like they all came the same night.
Yeah.
But in essence, I found out that the three wise men didn't come for another year and a half.
Yeah, they didn't.
No, but at Christmas time, we hear how they're there the same time. Especially when you watch the little drummer boy.
Oh yeah.
Show there. I mean, it's like they're there.
Right then.
Yeah, but then when you read later on how that they enter a house and he's there, I mean, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought he was in a manger or a stable, but I guess it was like a year or so, year and a half afterwards. It's I mean, it takes a lot of studying. But
it does.
Well, we're coming to the end. I know that, Peter. But we got 3 minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got time.
But I think it's great that a young man like you, wants to do this, because it takes somebody, and I've said this to the deacons in the Catholic Church as well, the seminarians. I mean, you've got to be mature. You've got to know that this is the life for you. Of course, you're different in a way, because you can get married, because they can't.
Oh yeah.
But still, you've got to be mature about what you're getting into.
It's true.
This
true.
is going to be, I mean, if you want people to really listen to you and to have belief in you, you've got to come out with a message that it's going to appeal to people of all ages, and not put, to sleep in church and
Not
all.
putting people to sleep.
I know. You've got to really make them feel. You've got to make them feel your words, when you talk. And I know you'll do a good job at
Praise
it.
the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, I know that.
So.
But I'm really, you're welcome to come. When do you start school again?
I go back to school on the 29th.
Of August?
Yes, sir. End of this month.
Yeah.
So it's coming up quick.
You need to leave me your email. And, well, we certainly wish you well down there in
Thank you.
Jersey.
I know.
Jersey.
I know. I don't even want to go back to Jersey.
Yeah.
I tell them the only reason why I'm down there is for school.
But it's so different, though, from the southern part to
It
the
is.
New York City part.
It is.
It really is. You go down to Giant Stadium and see the Jets play, or the Giants, or the Patriots come to town. But
Yeah, I was about to say, that's the only reason we'd go watch a game there, is if the Patriots were there.
Yeah, I know it. And, but no, I wish you well, and so at that point you say hello to your mom and dad for me, and we'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. But again, so with that in mind, thank you to Brian, my director there, who's doing really well. Let's see, I thought he was doing pretty good, but he's starting to look like he's paying a little bit, so I'm worried. But anyhow, thank you for joining us on Faith Speaks. I'm your host, Dick Patton, and have a great day. And again, thank the Lord for another great day.